Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan, and welcome to the latest episode of our entertainment show. As you know, in part three of our entertainment show each week, we premiere a new movie or TV series that is debuting here in Ireland and the UK, especially here in Ireland where Irish eyes are smiling. And up for discussion this week, it's back on our TV screens again. Season 5, this time, of Hudson and Rex, the most popular duo, crime fighting duo, canine and man, in terms of solving crimes. On June the 25th, on Channel Alibi here, it released the very first episode of season 5, and to much acclaim and much success. Over 84 episodes in total in terms of Hudson and Rex, and it is coming back for season 6, and it features an all-star cast including John Reardon, who plays Charlie Hudson, Mayko Nguyen, who plays Sarah Truong, Justin Kelly, who plays Jason Mills, and our special guest this evening, who plays the one and only Joe Donovan, are delighted to be joined by the one and only Kevin Hanchard. Kevin, first of all, wow, what can I say? Fifth season is airing here in Ireland and the UK at the moment. I know you're currently filming a season 6. Did you ever think when you started off shooting in Canada in terms of Hudson and Rex that you would be nearly up on, you're only 20 episodes off 100 episodes now, in terms of where you're going? Is that crazy to think that you're so close to that 100 episode mark now from where you started?
Yeah. I think you're taking the words out of my mouth. Crazy is exactly how I describe it. We're shooting a show about a crime-fighting dog and his human partner, right? And when you start to do a series, you never really know how long it's going to last. There's a lot of really great series that I've worked on that haven't gotten a second season. You always hope for at least a second, but to be working on a fifth, to be airing a fifth and working on a sixth is an absolute gift.
Yeah. And Kevin, do you think there's something in it that people's affection for animals and people's affection of maybe Lassie and everything like that have gone past in history, that it's something that's sort of entwined in our systems, that human sort of dog connection, that when something sees that sort of working, does always, well, I want to see more, that the animals' importance and relevance sometimes is more important than the actors or the actresses that play the role, because people just want to see that the animal do good and the animal bring justice and the animal solve the crimes, dare I say.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think there's something to it when they say that the dog is man's best friend. You put a dog with extraordinary abilities on screen. You put even just the dog on screen, and people are automatically captivated. So to have a dog as brilliant as Diesel on the show, who I always say is the best actor on the show. He always hits his mark and he always knows his lines. Is absolutely wonderful, and I think that people's affection for the show is proof positive of that. That there is an absolute genetic, biological imperative that gets people really jazzed about the show and about the dog.
And you think it's basically because there's a niche in the market, because there's an awful lot of detective shows out there at the moment, an awful lot of cop detective shows. We've seen reboots of Magnum PI, and we've seen reboots of all these types of TV series that were so successful. But this is something different. It has an element that other shows don't have. And in a crowded market, is it that important to be different, to stand out from the pack? And is that why Hudson and Rex has got 6 seasons? Because it brings something different, and it sort of stands out there, that it doesn't get lost in all that sort of traffic that's out there, the sort of jam that we have in the moment?
I think so. I mean, right now, sort of a beautiful time for procedurals in general, police procedurals especially. But to have one with our hook that we have, I think, is what makes us stand out. I think we find that we strike a fine balance between family TV and sort of gritty television at the same time. We don't get too gory and we don't get too, really violent, but at the same time, it's a show that I know at least my entire family can watch, and I know it's appointment television for a lot of families, and I think that's great, and I think we have really found a great way to strike a balance between man, animal, fun, humor, drama, and with some great actors, some great performers, we're in a really good spot.
And Kevin, I know an awful lot of people have seen the show, and some people are following it from day one. But we also have to bear in mind that we have some audience and listeners now that mightn't have seen Hudson Rex before and might be aware of maybe one or two primary characters. Can you maybe enlighten our audience, just a brief recap about your character, Joe Donovan, and how he sort of fits into Hudson and Rex, and what sort of role he plays for any audience and listeners that might be wanting to discover Hudson and Rex for the first time?
Sure, absolutely. Joe Donovan is the superintendent of the St. John's Major Crimes Division. So we take care of all the murders in St. John's and all of the grand theft and bank frauds, all of the big crimes that happen in and around the city. So I'm basically the boss of Charlie Hudson, who's our hero on the show, and Rex the dog. Along with Jesse Mills, played by Justin Kelly, and Mayko Nguyen, who plays Dr. Sarah Trong, who's our forensicist. Jesse Mills also being the computer analyst. We hit every crime from every angle, technical, forensics, good old fashioned, gumshoe sleuthing, and a powerful nose and canine superpowers. There's no criminal, big or small, who's able to escape our clutches.
Okay. And can I ask you, Kevin, in terms of shooting, I know you're busy now at the moment shooting season 6. In terms of shooting a full season of Hudson and Rex, are we talking maybe 5 to 6 months in terms of from start to finish in terms of shooting a full season? And do you shoot out of a lot location, or do you do a good bit of block shooting as well, or do you sort of shoot scenes from multiple episodes at a time, or do you work week by week in terms of scripts per episode?
Sure, those are great questions. So we start in May, and we try to get done by Christmas to avoid the harsh Newfoundland winters. In our first season, we shot through Christmas and into the winter of Newfoundland, and we realized that's not ideal. There's a lot of snow, or there's a lot of slush and really, really harsh conditions. So we'd rather stay away from those. So we try to get done before Christmas. So as I said, May through December, which gives us about 7 months, 6-7 months, with a couple of hiatuses mixed in there to keep everybody fresh. And most of the time we block shoot our episodes. So we do 2 episodes at a time, which allows us to efficiently use locations and keep ourselves sort of as sleek and as nimble as possible, and not wear out our welcome here in the greater St. John's area, which is full of people who are very, very, very lovely people and are very patient with our trucks and all the things that it takes to make a television show. So it's a long process, but we're doing a great job. We've got a fantastic crew, and we've got a wonderful city, great locations, and so far so good.
And Kevin, obviously, in terms of the script writers, obviously they've been working on it now for roughly 6 seasons, each week coming up with a sort of different scripts and storylines. And as you've grown in the series, are you able to sort of pitch your own ideas in terms of directions of your own sort of character, from those initial sort of table reads to the final shoot for live episodes? Is there a good lot of changes and enhancements that take place from the original script, and has everyone got a voice, dare I say, in terms of how they're shaping the episodes, or is it very much a closed book from the producers, directors and writers? Do you feel that actors can have a real sort of influence in how the direction the episodes are going in?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that every actor wants to feel like they have a voice on a show, especially with the number of seasons that we've done. And the fact that we've gotten to know these characters sort of, like hand in glove. So we do have a voice as far as, the direction in which the characters are going, the things that we think that they would or wouldn't do. Sometimes there's words that are put into their mouths that we just don't feel are right. And the writers are really amenable to making those changes and to sort of smoothing things out and adjusting things to make us feel comfortable. Scripts aren't our forte, but, there are some things that we have pitched that end up in our shows. You can see I'm on a golf course right now, and I think we're praying that we finally get a golf episode in the next season or two. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that. But we have a wonderful relationship with our producers, our writers. John Reardon and Sherry Davis, who's the dog master, are both executive producers on the show. So they have a voice that is sort of baked into the process. So slowly but surely, we find a way to put our fingerprints on every aspect of the show.
Yeah. And Kevin, before we came on air, you mentioned it's a busy time for you at the moment. You've a few projects in the pipeline that will be coming our way, hopefully later on in 2023 here in Ireland and obviously in the UK as well. You might enlighten our audience and viewers about some of those projects that we might see Kevin Hanchard on our TV screens.
Sure, absolutely. I just finished production on a film called Longing, which is a wonderful story, a wonderful heartbreaking story starring Richard Gere. It's a remake of an Israeli film by the same title, and his work in it is exquisite, and I was really grateful to be a part of that. A friend of mine here in Newfoundland has put together a web series called What Odds? Her name's Renee Hackett, and it's a beautiful comedy. And it's about a woman who's trying to find her way in life, love, and career on the island of Newfoundland, and that's due to come out shortly. And I've also been a guest star in a series called SkyMed over the past little while, second season. And I know it airs on Paramount TV here in the States, and I'm sure it'll be available somewhere shortly as well. So I'm busy. Things are going really well. Can't complain at all.
And obviously, you're doing a bit of golfing there in Newfoundland at the moment. And we have some splendid golf courses here in Ireland, some world renowned. Even Greg Norman has designed one or two courses here in Ireland along the West Coast. You seem to be an avid golfer. Is that a keen ambition for Kevin Hanchard to try out some of the golf courses that are featured in the Irish Open and the Ryder Cup in Ireland in the near future?
I would love nothing more than to have a pint of Guinness and golf on some of the wonderful greens in Ireland. That would be fantastic. That would be a dream come true, no doubt.
And
I know
Kevin had,
Johnny Reardon, our star, has been over to Ireland on several occasions, and he's golfed there, and he's always just filling us with wonderful tales of Ireland. So don't be surprised if you see us out there someday soon.
No problem. And Kevin Hanchard, for the final 30 seconds, you might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners. Obviously, the first episode of season 5 is out, but it's the following week now. Episode 2 is right around the corner. Obviously, there's replays and catch-ups for people who missed the first episode. But for people wanting to find out about Hudson Rex, to watch season 5, or even to watch it from the very beginning, to watch it from season 1, what would you like to say to our listeners, to our viewers, to say why they should tune in to Channel Alibi here in Ireland and the UK and watch Hudson and Rex, and what's in store for them?
Well, you know what? If you watch Hudson and Rex, you're gonna think you're gonna watch just a show about people solving crimes, but you're actually gonna see a show with heart. And I think that's really the key to our show, is that there's a beating heart inside the show that keeps people coming back for more. There's a relationship between John and Diesel, John being our star, and Diesel, who is our canine star, that sort of reaches through the television screen and grabs you by the heartstrings and makes you go, yeah, I can do this. I can watch another episode. And next thing you know, you're in season 3, you're in season 5, and you're clamoring for season 6. And I know it's gotten me that way, and that's why I'm still here shooting it. And I know my mom loves the show, and she's a tough critic. And we've got an audience that seems to be really avid and diehard. So give it a shot. You'll be surprised.
And I know indeed I'm clamoring for season 7 already, but already from speaking to you, Kevin Hanchard. Kevin Hanchard, for me, Jim Conlan, an absolute pleasure talking to you on the airways as we look in joyful anticipation for the second episode now of season 5 of Hudson Rex coming our way here on Channel Alibi in Ireland. I do believe the golf courses are calling you, they're beckoning you back for another round again to put back. I hear you having some misfortunes there this morning, but no doubt another round you'll put those misfortunes to bed, and you'll stay out of the bunkers this time. But for the moment, Kevin Hanchard, from me, Jim Conlan, to you, stay safe, take care, and God bless.
Thank you, Jim. God bless.
God bless.